everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of The Creators Outlet. If you're listening to this on a podcast and you want to check out all the visuals that we put up on the screen here on the YouTube channel, just head over to Creators Outlet on YouTube, youtube.com/C/Creators Outlet. Or you can just go to the links right at the bottom of the description, wherever you saw this podcast, and you can copy the link for the actual campaign, so you can just go check it out for yourselves. Tonight we welcome our special guest back with us. It's ShadowPunk. What's up, brother?
Hey, how's it going, Will?
It's going much better. I'm over the coof, and gonna enjoy the rest of my summer with my AC set to 60.
Oh my gosh, you're lucky. My AC is set to 82.
Oh my God, why?
I refuse to spend money on it. I don't like the way that they have a monopoly on how much energy I get. It drives me up the wall. You know, it's a battle you can't win, but I'm not going to play. So this is my way of not playing. 82, and then I'll turn it on after that.
So that sounds to me like you might be in California.
No, I'm in Michigan.
Oh, even worse.
Well, it's kind of it's not bad, but sometimes it gets super humid here, right? And then other than that, it's pretty good. Like right today, I think it's probably like 72, right?
That's
super nice. But every once in a while, man, it really sucks. And the winters are really cold here. Just like in Massachusetts, you're in Massachusetts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of probably the same weather. When it hits in the winter, it's bad. You know,
it depends on the storm. If it's coming off from the coast, we get it first, then you get it. Or if it's coming down from Canada, you get hit wicked bad, and then it comes to us.
Yeah, I mean, but I think the last time I was on your show, we had a massive snowstorm that day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember that, but it was a big one. And we had one here, and I think that you might have had one too. So it's been a while, like maybe like a few months since I was on the show.
Oh yeah.
And it's really like I went from just starting my pre-launch page to launching. I'm going to finish my campaign in 5 days.
Nice.
So which is pretty cool. It's quite, it's been quite a ride. You know, it's the launching a campaign, not just getting the work done, and then coming up with ways to pull people into your campaign, right? I did that with my sculpts, right? My 3D sculpts. That was one extra way that I could get people to take a look, which I think was really worked. You know, I think people really appreciated them, and the number of people that want me to sculpt their characters is like they are, you know, they're just DMing me all the time, right?
Yeah, I want one.
Well, I'm sure everybody wants me to do one, you know. And actually, logically, it would be great if that's all I had to do. I could do that for the rest of my life. Just make cool characters for people, right? And that's not a hard life at all, right? That's a pretty good life. But I also want to do my book.
Yeah.
And I can't. Every sculpt takes me a week to do. So if I keep on saying yes to people, then the backers don't get their book, right? Which is not fair. And I also want to work on the book because that's my baby, right? So so I'm in the process of doing the pages and cranking them out, and then I've also been fulfilling at the same time. So in my campaign, I have T-shirts, and I have the figures that I made. The ShadowPunk figures. And so those things I've already fulfilled on. Every single one I've actually sent out. So I want to be on top of that, right? Because it's going to be a while before I finish the book, but I wanted people to get something in their hand that says, this is cool, wear the shirt, you know, it's still in there, you know, people start thinking about it, you know. That's kind of my theory, I guess.
Yeah, if you have like a merch box with, like, you know, the figures and the T-shirt that you can send out, that's cool because while you're doing the book, various people around the world are going to be wearing the T-shirt out to, whatever, it's either, it's pretty nice around the world right now. Well, weather-wise, it's pretty nice around the world.
Well,
people can be like, "What's that? That looks cool."
I will say this because I'm a totally biased person. I really like my logo. I really enjoy it. It's got the girl like this, and it's a ShadowPunk around her. I get a kick out of the people enjoy it, And then the other thing too is probably in the fall I'm going to do a Kickstarter. So the thing you just described is a bonus because maybe it'll get out there in comic shops or just people that like comics will see the logo and the figures too, So that's kind of, and I'm hoping that the Kickstarter, I think Kickstarter has a larger audience than Indiegogo. Someone told me it was like 4 or 5 times the size.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm also more experienced now because I've already done the Indiegogo project, right? So I guess I have more confidence in handling the campaign. I found the Indiegogo website to be kind of convoluted.
Yeah.
And because of that, I ended up really simplifying my campaign when I launched. Because people are like, why don't you do add-ons and stuff? And I'm like, I would love to do that. I feel like I have a Jenga thing all set up, and if I pull one of those things out, it's gonna move.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's not true, but that's how it feels, So, it's just one of those things where I'm getting used to it. When I talked to Nefarious about this, he had it all figured out. The whole process. He's like, this is no problem. Right. And I'm a visual artist. I don't think like that. Right. People think different, But I've also been giving out for free giveaways on my Twitter page of like this one tomorrow. I'm giving away the Salamandroid that I made.
Oh yeah.
He's about 4 inches tall and he's all painted metallic. And then I'm doing another one tomorrow. I think the one I'm going to do starting tomorrow, is going to be the Old Man Hawkeye from the Old Man Logan story.
Oh yeah, cool.
I did a sculpting. Anyway, I kind of, these are figures I've made a long time ago. So I'm like, why don't I just, print them and see what people like? People like them, man. People really enjoy getting them, and a lot of good feedback.
So let's go back. This is your first crowdfunder book, right?
Correct.
So you've been at this quite a while, and there was obviously a learning curve from what you normally do to setting up a campaign page and trying to get through all the detour road signs on the Indiegogo site. And
totally,
I've heard, what a mess it is. And people usually reach out to other people that have done it, like, at least once or a few times, tuning it up and everything to get some pointers on it.
I did that to a pretty good degree. But I think Freak Girl even walked me through it one night when I was trying to figure something out, which is so cool, right? But at the end of the day, you got to do it on your own, no matter what, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's gonna be you doing it. So so I feel better now that I've done it once, and I've got that kind of like, it's like learning new software. I kind of got the software figured out because on the first project I did, and then now I'm ready for the second project. I mean, I don't know. People are different, Who was it I was talking to one day? It was the Dwarf First Line guy. His name's not Rick. Anyway, he he's like an IT guy, and he had no problem figuring out the Indiegogo thing, right? He's like, and he's making his own thing. That's how advanced he is in that way. But everybody's different, I'm a visual artist. I'm not a technical person, even though I use 3D software. Okay, well, I know that sounds strange to people, but yeah. So and then the day that I launched, I lost power in my house.
Oh.
So I woke up at 5:30 in the morning and with a text saying your power's gone. And then by the middle of the day, they said it's not coming back till like 11:30 tonight. So I picked up my entire setup here and I went across town to a friend's house, set that all up, and then launched in his house.
Oh, cool.
But it was you can imagine it's not the funnest day, right? Because you're in like kamikaze mode at that point, thinking, man, I got to get this going. I hope this works. Will there be problems? Just in case you don't know where problems are going to come from,
Yeah.
So it worked out in the end really good, but it was just crazy. Just a kooky day, man.
And you launched on Bancrofts?
Yes.
And how far did you hit goal on the Bancroft stream or fairly close to it?
I was pretty close to it, and then the next morning when I woke up, I was already funded.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty nice, but it was kind of an odd setup because so when I launched, I had 266 signups. I'm like, yeah, wow, that's a lot, So then when the day came, 50 people were there. And so those other signups are out there, right? They're and I'm trying to reach them. The other problem was that Broken 2 launched a couple of days before me.
Oh, yeah, and that was so big, too.
It was massive, and it sucked the oxygen out of my kid. Well, I'm not saying it did, but I'm not saying it didn't help, right? Because nobody knows who I am, but they know who he is because he's awesome, right? And he's a veteran, right? He's been around forever.
Yeah, he's named after some cheese.
Oh, really?
Well, no, I'm just making a joke about his last name.
Oh, I forget what his name is.
Kenneth Roquefort.
Roquefort, that's right. Yeah, Roquefort. And I remember seeing his name in the 90s or the 2000s in comic books.
Oh,
He's a seasoned pro, right?
Oh, yeah, he's huge. His artwork is just mind-blowing.
So cool. And it's cool to have people set the bar like that, right? I'm like, that's great. You got to have people like that so that I push myself as farther than I can think I can push myself. Like I'm doing the book now, and I'm already thinking in those terms. Like I'll look at Ethan and I'll look at somebody like Roquefort and a lot of other people too. And I'm like, it's got to be that level for me. If I can't get there, I got to get as close as I can, right? And
I think everybody's dream is to launch and have their launch go like Eric July's launch went for Rippaverse. Where he hit over $1 million in 24 hours.
Sure, right.
Everything sold out. He's selling like merch and high-end versions of the book and about to load up second print options because all the first prints are sold out.
Well, yes, everybody, I would love that, right? I don't know anything about Eric, but he must be doing something awesome. Has he done a campaign before?
This is his first book, but he has a huge social media presence. He does like a daily podcast that launches like around noon Eastern every day, where he talks about stuff. I started following him a couple of years ago because I noticed like all the comic book stuff, and that this dude was like in a metal band, and I listened to the music, and I was like, "Ooh, not my kind of metal." It was, kind of like thrash stuff, and I'm like, they play good, but it wasn't my scene, but I checked him out and I gave him a like on the videos. I didn't care. But he's like-minded thinking with this. And I think he kind of like kicked down a barrier to like the mainstream publishers where it was like, look, I'm making a book. These are my pre-sale numbers. You guys can't do this on a good day with all your titles.
Right. It does. It's a testament then to the idea that if you have a strong YouTube channel, it can help you launch your book. I'm sure because you build an audience by your personality too. Ethan's done this for a long time. That's one of the things I couldn't do that I wanted to do because it was Mount Everest just to get here. And I couldn't do that and start a YouTube channel that does, all the work that goes involved in that, right? I'm doing 3D prints and I'm doing them. That's consuming part of my. At one point, it's consuming at least half my day every day for months. So but his story is a good one to hear because it's a cool formula that he has, and B, personally, I think that the more people like that, the better we all do.
Oh yeah. Because
it pulls people in that don't know about us, yeah, it's cool. It's really cool to see that he hit. When I saw the 1 million thing, I'm like, dude, that's freaking awesome.
Oh yeah. It was great to see. I looked at the campaign and I'm like, oh, this is way above anything that I can spend over the next couple of months. I can't afford this book.
So is he the writer and the artist? Did he do everything?
No, he is. He's the writer. He created the characters, and he's got an artist and a colorist and stuff.
Okay.
And one of the videos that he has up there, they show a little bit of the book, and then he comes on and he talks, and then he tells and shows who's, the penciler comes over this shoulder and the colorist comes over this shoulder, cool. Like just in flat images. And
cool.
So he tells you who's working on the book, and it's not like names that you would know, like like a Matt Wagner or a Neil Adams or anything like that, but it's names that you recognize from the industry, really that have worked there for years. So the
artwork that I saw all the limited amount of the artwork, and I thought it was really good. I thought it was a really graphic, which I think is a cool comic book style, the classic comic book style done really well. That's what I saw. Okay, that makes sense too. There is a thing that I found out because I'm doing everything on my book. I can't let it go, right? I can't hand it off to somebody. I just can't do it yet, right? Because I have to feel like I'm in control of what I'm producing. And so takes up a lot of your time, So, yeah, that's super cool, man. It's a good goal for us to have, is to try to shoot like that, right? To see what other people do and try to replicate it. So
yeah, it gives you a bar to raise to,
nobody knows who I am really, right?
I know who you are.
Well,
Neff knows who you are. You're getting around.
I'm getting around, but my point is, if I was an internet celebrity, it would be a different ballgame.
Yeah.
Right. And so, this is the John Malin approach where you said you got to have a YouTube channel to launch your book. He's totally right. But and you can see the numbers involved. Right. But people are different too. I mean, some people are typical artists are not, they're like at the desk quietly. I'm going to stay in my corner because I love being here doing my stuff. Right. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes that's a different person than the personality person.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody's got gifts that they have. Like you have a really good speaking voice, right?
Thank you.
You sound like a DJ. But
I was for 30 years.
Right, exactly. But everybody's different, and you just one thing I thought that would be really interesting. You know how you have some people they do your pencils, they do your coloring, whatever. It would be cool, like if I could find somebody who's really good at publicizing. They would you'd give them a certain amount of money, and they would get you on all the social networks. They would get your name out there and they would sell it, and then they would say, hey, you got to be on Will's show tomorrow, that kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Because just like actors or musicians, there's a lot that they don't know. You need people who can manage you, that can get you around, right? So I don't know if anybody does that, but yeah. So, and then when I do my Kickstarter in the fall or something, I've been trying to figure out how people get around in those circles, right? And from what I understand as of today, they don't. You just go on Kickstarter and go, and if people cling on to your thing, then they really like it, and word gets around on Kickstarter. I don't know how that works.
Well, like both platforms let you sign up for a newsletter, and
right.
they'll send you if you're on the newsletter and there's a project that say hits projects we love, where it gets funded. If you fund in the first day, you get a project we love a lot of times from Kickstarter. Sometimes you don't, but when you do, then you're at the top of the list. So when people go to Kickstarter to look for comics, to see what's out for comics, your project's at the top of the page.
That's kind of cool.
The basic way I see it is that Indiegogo is a Twitter crowd, and Kickstarter is a Facebook crowd.
Okay. That's good to know, because maybe I will. I don't really want to get on another social media platform, but if I have to, I will. I'll go on Facebook and do a ShadowPunk. I don't really want to be involved in the Matrix, right? But
Yeah,
to
right.
some degree, I kind of have to. Like, I resent the fact that I have a social security number. Okay, so then going on like something like on Facebook is like, okay, you got to get into the thing, but it's more important if that's what it takes, so people see my work. That's important to me. That's worth doing for me. Maybe I'll do that soon, so I can start to slowly build up.
And once you do that, let me know. I will definitely put you in touch with a bunch of people on Facebook.
Oh, cool. Are there people who are like they're like comic book people, you mean?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The Rage and 2 network that fellow Michiganite Randy Zimmerman has his podcast on with them.
Okay.
So he's on, it gets broadcast on Facebook through them. Plus he's on the Rage and 2 network there. Luke Stone as well.
Luke Stone, yep.
And a bunch of other people. Marv V, who I'm good friends with from Portugal, who's got the Sin Killer comic series. Mike Jimmy LaRasha de Bruin, who does Life on Cora and a few other things. He's on there too. So I'll introduce you to the circles and a few other pages. Comics and More New Jersey is a huge supporter of indie comics. They've got their own page. They do a show just like I do.
Cool.
And you can post your projects on there, whenever you want. Same thing with like a few other pages and stores that have pages. And
That sounds really cool. That makes a lot of sense too, because I'm trying to figure out other circles of people that are Kickstarter people, right? And that sounds like kind of what that is. And I'm like,
there's Kickstarter people, and then there's Indiegogo people, and then there's people like me who do both.
I see. It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? I mean, it seems weird to me.
There's certain creators that only go Indiegogo and certain creators that only go Kickstarter. Because they've tried both, and they really didn't get anything off of Indiegogo, but they do fairly well on Kickstarter.
Or vice versa, right?
Yeah, they'll do Kickstarter, they'll fund on Kickstarter, and then they find out that they can move their Kickstarter funded project right over to an in-demand page on Indiegogo.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I found that out from Neff and Freak Girl.
They would know. They would totally know. Yep. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, that's really cool, man. I'm really gonna go. So my trailer that I have, that my animated, if you remember, I have the animated trailer where she's doing this. So I really want to get that out to as many people as possible. It's one of the strongest, coolest things about my campaign is that I have an animated movie and the trailer, and then I already have the artwork from the comic, right? So I don't know how it works. I don't know what people on Kickstarter look for and all, but who knows, you know? I mean, I'm gonna be printing a bunch of comics early next year, one way or the other, right? So I might as well print more at that point. If I do a Kickstarter and it's equal to my Indiegogo, I've only benefited, right?
The one thing you have to remember is that, like Indiegogo, where you have to do an exclusive cover for them, Kickstarter is the same thing. So you would have to do a new cover that would be exclusive just to the Kickstarter.
Oh, is that right? So what will they do? They say they'll actually flag me and say, "Dude, you can't do that."
Yeah, they want. So say you just. I know you want to do everything yourself, but say you like reached out to, I don't know, Kenneth Rocafort and be like,
right.
Dude, I need a variant cover. If you have time, let me know. And here's a few pages, and here's the link to my campaign, so you can see, what it's about, and go from there. Or if it's somebody that you just like their art, do a variant cover that would be an exclusive for the Kickstarter, but they could still get your cover. So your featured tier, of course, would be the exclusive Kickstarter cover, only available on Kickstarter. The regular cover that you did, and any merch you throw in there, and then up the price goes for everything, and you bundle it together for a package deal. And
so before I launched last year, I did a ton of promotional artwork. Some of the artwork I could easily use as covers. And actually, can I show you them?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you might even say that's a good one for a cover. Maybe that's not a good one. Let's see. All right. Can you see my thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are 3 pretty good covers I thought about using as an alternate cover. What do you think about those?
I like the middle one.
Do you really?
I like the chain.
Totally.
How everything's like spiraling in.
Yes. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's good to know. The people, I would have to find a way to put It doesn't say ShadowPunk that clearly. Maybe you know how the one on the left has the logo down at the bottom. Mm-hmm. Maybe I could put that down there, right? Because it's here, but maybe I could also put it right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really cool. I would, Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely have to think about that because I like the idea of having like a separate one. Also, like, why not, right? Yeah. So we'll see. I'm definitely going to start ramping up as far as like publicizing now on Facebook. Now that you tell me, I think it's a good thing to do.
And it's a different crowd. The one thing I like to say is don't leave money on the table. It's like I know the CG home for years now, for quite a few years now, has been IGG. But unless they flag you like they did to Ethan and be like, oh no, you can't come on here with that. The way we don't like the things you say, and
right.
and then they started hiring. I'm sure you remember, like last year or the year before, it hit like a big story because they hired this girl who was so far left that if the flat earthers were right, she would have fallen off the planet years ago. And she just went around with her Kickstarter management account and just started blockchaining like tens of thousands of people. And I'm like, go away.
So has Kickstarter adjusted since then? Or is it still kind of the same thing?
It's kind of the same thing, but they're
they've eased up.
I don't think they've eased up.
Okay.
But you don't make any way. It's like the well-known like big CG names, like
right.
They didn't say crap to Billy Tucci, and Billy's obviously associated with all those guys, hangs out with everybody.
Sure.
Same thing with Graham Nolan. Those guys are both big names, but they went in, did their projects on both platforms, and cleaned up because one, they're huge industry names.
Okay.
And they appear on all the CG shows all the time. They're on with Ethan quite a bit. So,
well, let me ask you this then. Since the audiences are different, and they have like the group of people that you told me about that are on Kickstarter and have their own shows, are they all left-wing people?
No,
or are they just normal people?
Oh, most of them are just normal people.
Okay.
Like the shows, they're all down to earth normal people.
I gotcha. Yeah, okay. That's good to know. So right now what I'm really just doing is as much as I can is just working on the book. It's just crazy because every time I turn around, there's something that like I have to handle at home, take care of, right? So I end up staying up super late, working on the book, trying to get pages done, and I mean, I could be making a lot of money doing the sculpts and everything, like that, but that's just not going to happen. I can't let that happen. So many people want me to do. I just finished one for the Reaper. I did because I told him he was on my list before I launched, and it came out really good. It came out really cool. But there was one other one. I told Bancroft I would do his because he let me launch on the show. So I told him I would do that, but he's still kind of figuring out what he wants. So in the time being, I'm not going to do any other ones. And just work on the book. And I thought about hiring somebody, a flatter, to help me cut the shapes out. I still might do that because I found somebody who's really good, and the price is really good. But it's easy to. it still adds up, right? Even if it's like $20 a page or whatever it is, you know, it still adds up when you're done with the book. That's a lot of money out of a campaign that does. I think I had 4,500 I'm at or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a chunk, you know. I just can't I can't spend money that I don't have, you know. So, and people have really responded well to my my ShadowPunk figure. I've gotten a lot of really good feedback on that, which is super cool. Probably in the end of August, I'm getting a super big 3D printer.
Nice.
So my printer right now is about that wide. You know, that's what you can put the shapes on. The new one's going to be this big.
Oh, nice.
So I'll be able to print a ShadowPunk figure that's, instead of being like this big, it'll be like that big, right? And I really want to. I'm going to do, once the book is done, I'm going to do the conventions next year, right? Like here in Michigan, we have a couple big ones, and I'm sure there's ones in like Ohio or whatever, but so I want to have that stuff when I go, right? I want to be able to bring that as my thing, maybe to sell it or just to show it, you know.
And here is
48
4,800.
Yeah,
102 backers, 5 days left. So if you've backed this already, please just continue to share it out and do, like, you know, a day-by-day countdown. You know, only 5 days left, only 4 days left.
Right.
You know, tell your friends. It's like one girl in a city of evil. But now she's setting her own comic book on fire.
That's right.
That's kind of that's the self-destructive poster.
It is. Well, you know, she is a rebel, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you scroll down, you can see my T-shirt that I made. And so my first perk, it has a T-shirt in it. So in the first perk, you get the comic book, the T-shirt, and the figurine painted for $80.
And it's painted.
Right.
Wow.
So in there, you have the option to choose painted or unpainted, and I figure I'm going to paint them for free because I found a cool way to paint it that it's not too time consuming, and it's really is cool. And I want to have my control over what people look at every day when they put it on their desk, right? Yeah. I want to be able to go, if they want to paint it, I'm going to paint it. So my last two backers both got this combo, which is really cool.
Yeah. 21 people got this, so you got 21 figures to paint.
They're already shipped.
The T-shirts and the figures have already shipped.
Yep. One of the guys, maybe 3 people, bought it unpainted because I think that they're miniature painter people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're like, I'm going to paint this freaking thing, which is awesome. I can't wait to see what people come up with. That's one of the fun things about it, you know, is just seeing what people are going to do with your already existing artwork. I mean, that's a kick. There are people who, you know, people got the shirts and they took pictures of them with the shirt, with them wearing the shirt. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's so cool, man. I mean, I'm just blown away when people do stuff like that. One guy, Curios Comic, did a fan art of my character. And then another guy, Tommy, I forget his last name, but he did a really cool, also, ShadowPunk drawing. And then another guy inked it for him. And it looked awesome, you know, and I'm just like, dude, this is so cool. I mean, you know, in a year, I expect my next campaign to be much bigger, right?
Oh, yeah.
When I get out there and people see that I produced and I'm able to fulfill, and the comic book, the story is really good. So I'm expecting it to snowball. And how much it will snowball to, I have no idea. But so yeah. So if you scroll down, you can actually see the full figure. It's painted up and everything.
Let's scroll down through.
On the left, yeah, you'll see on the left. Keep going.
Scrolling. Hey, my name is Scrolling.
There you go.
Okay, there's the. Play this little video. Just the turntable. Look at the figure. Oh, dude, that is so badass.
Thank you. I was pretty pleased with it when I got it done. I was just like, it came out way better than I ever thought it would come out, right? Because nobody knows who my character is, right? And I had to find a way to make her compelling and dynamic and enough for people to start wondering what it's about. Right?
Yeah. Man, that is so cool.
Thank you. If you scroll upwards, you can actually see also. Keep going. I gave out for first day backers. I gave out a red foil card. I think it's right there.
Oh, here's the trading card.
So this is my mock-up of what the trading card will look like. But it's going to be red foil on the front and then the logo on the back.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I really wanted to give the first day backers something special, and with the next, maybe the next issue number 2, it'll be something like that too, right? Something that connects to issue 2 and the same trading card. So, yeah, that's one of the cool pages. So obviously my color scheme is a red and blue color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
And it really came out, I think it works really well. I think it was one of the cool things I could really, I'm very pleased that I came up with that color scheme, I should say. Hopefully when people read the comic book, it'll actually get great reviews. I've rewrote the story a bunch of times to make it, my goal is to make the comic book really interesting and pleasurable to read, right? There's moments in the thing where you're excited that certain things are happening, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Her story starts with her just living in that hole in the ground, and then the story explodes, it gets big, right? When she meets her mentor, that's part of the story getting bigger, right? When she gets the shit kicked out of her from being in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people, that's a big part of the story. So I'm sure people watching already know the synopsis, but she is living alone in the ruins of Detroit, and she lost her family, and she's trying to find them. When she meets her mentor is a guy that's been fighting the guild that runs the city. And he needs somebody to pass the mantle to say, I need you to fight for me now, and I need you to wear my technology to do it. She doesn't really care about doing anything like that. She just wants to find her family and leave. And what you're going to find out is those two goals are one and the same.
Now, I just wanted to point out real quick that your ShadowPunk figure is the same size as Hasbro's original G.I. Joe line and Kenner's Star Wars line.
3.75?
Yep, 3 3/4 inch figures.
Really? That's crazy.
See, a whole new level of cool to that ShadowPunk figure.
I'm in the line of greatness, right?
Right.
That's cool. I did not know that.
And they're super limited. So
yeah, I mean It makes me wonder if I would make a different figure for the Indiegogo campaign. Or maybe one more figure, right? To make it unique. It's a lot of effort. She probably took me. I mean, I made it and then I adjusted it, right? And I when I was printing it, I was like printing proofs of the print and then changing it to make sure it works okay.
Yeah.
So it takes more. So normally a 3D print sculpt like that takes me about 70 hours. She probably took me double that time because I had to learn how to go through the process of printing it and making sure it works. So, but it would be cool if I did another one. I could do a bust of her like this, right? Where she's doing in that pose with the spikes and everything.
Yeah, kind of like a desktop paperweight or something.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. I mean, and maybe even when I do the Indiegogo, when I do the Kickstarter, I can sell the large ones too, right? I can sell one that's 2 or 3 times her size and see if people like that. There's so many possibilities. That's one of the cool things about CG is that people have so many cool ideas about what to do, how to get things out, right?
Yeah, but you also got to figure this figure is going to be awesome for down the road when there's a ShadowPunk tabletop game to play.
That's right. That's right. Totally. That really is a good point because you don't know in 5 years what will I've come up with, right? I could come up with figures for the other characters in the story, right? Like her mentor or like the villains in the story. Yeah, I mean that's
like there's a gaming company that I've been following that is doing a tabletop role-playing game. Old school, but you can get the all the manuals digitally, which of course are cheaper, but I like books I can hold in my hand, whether it's comic books, manuals, or what have you. And they have gone through and developed a system that will let you use characters from 12 different licensings.
Oh, wow.
Now, the one that got me was the Crow. And then my head goes on a swivel. Also in that group of licensings was Highlander.
Cool.
And a couple of other big license names. And I'm like, oh, I gotta buy this. I gotta buy the manuals at least and the Crow stuff. And because I've got 20 different Crow figures here. So
no kidding.
I've got the 18-inch talking one from the Brandon Lee movie. Yeah.
I think, am I wrong? Is it James Barr?
J.O. Barr, yeah.
Is he from Michigan? I think he might be. I know.
There's a good chance he is, because he does a lot of the shows he does is kind of straight up and down in that kind of
that pocket of the country.
That pocket. So
right,
the pocket that you're in, straight down, because he does some in Tennessee and New Orleans and stuff.
Oh wow.
Artist friend of mine that I do a art stream with on Monday nights, Sean Howe, one of the cons that he's doing, he's sitting only a couple of tables away from J.O. Barr. So
okay.
He's going to present him, of course, with his one of his original pieces that he's done of the Crow, and he wants to get a bunch of Crow stuff signed. And there's a new exclusive Crow figure for Walmart. I can't remember what company does it. It was a Diamonds It was a Diamond Select figure.
Okay.
And the case is made to look similar to like an old VHS tape case.
Oh, cool.
Like the plastic ones, the plastic and cardboard combos. And when you open it up, everything's sealed in there. But not only comes with the stuff that the McFarlane figure came with, but it comes with like a grounds piece to set him up on at his own grave.
That's cool.
And where the figure is on the plastic, just on the other side of the plastic, they put like this light cardboard stuff to make it look like the window that he grabs, swings out, and comes back in. So he's kind of like looking out that window at you. And I'm like,
cool.
He goes, you need to find me one of those so I can get both of ours signed by him in a couple of months. And I'm like, I'm working on it, dude. I'm working on it. Give me a break.
Well, that is really cool, man. I mean, is he still making Crow comic books?
Not currently, no.
I wonder why. Is he doesn't have a publisher, maybe, or it's hard to do?
I know he's supposed to be working on something for next year. I don't know if it's like a novelization or if he's going back to like, graphic novel / comic book format.
Yeah, I think when I was a kid, he was at one of the comic book stores here in Michigan. And that's why I think maybe he's from the area. Mm-hmm. Bill Willingham, I met him when I was a kid. He came to the Book Bin, which is a place where I lived. And I was really young. I was probably like 14 or 15 or something like that. And he gave me a original art piece of Ratman from the Elementals.
Wow.
And I still have it. And I lost it in my basement for decades. I didn't know if it was even real. Then I found it. It was in a Mylar sleeve. I put it in a Mylar sleeve. And it's probably the coolest Ratman image you've ever seen. Because by the time you ink something, sometimes the ink makes things feel static, or you lose the spontaneity of the pencil drawing. Mm-hmm. And this pencil drawing has it all. And it's like, whoa, this is so cool. It's really neat to meet people. When I start doing conventions, I'm going to look forward to just being around other creators like that, going, dude, that's so freaking. One time I saw Jim Steranko at the Motor City Comic Con here in Michigan. And he was dressed to the T, right? And he looked like he was stylish forever, right? Like a rock star or something, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, a friend of mine that cosplays a lot out of New Jersey met him at like one of the Garden State shows, but he went dressed up as Steranko's version of Nick Fury.
Your friend did?
Yeah,
that's cool.
So Steranko posed with him for like hours with a bunch of pictures, because then other people started coming up and goes, can we get pictures of you too?
That's cool. Your friend probably didn't make any money, but he was in history as being able to do that with his creator, right?
Yeah, he was just excited to meet him, so he didn't really care about anything. He was just happy to be there.
So I don't know if I told you, if you saw this, or I told you when I launched, I cosplayed as ShadowPunk. So I had these glasses. Cool. Right, and I have a helmet. It's in the other room, but I built the helmet with spikes on it.
Nice.
And I 3D printed these spikes. Right, I couldn't find these spikes anywhere. I know that sounds stupid, but
yeah,
I had to print. Within a couple hours, I had a bunch printed, so I was done. Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I know Neff told me that his theory about the whole crowdfunding thing is he crowdfunds his book to get the book paid for. And then he goes to the shows and sells a bunch. And I said, well, people really buy it. They buy the comics at the shows. He's like, oh, yeah, they really do, and you'd be surprised. So, yeah, I think I went up. So one of the things that if you go up, my cover, so all you can I do all my artwork in Adobe Illustrator, which is a vector program. So I'll be able to blow that up and make giant banners of it that are super crisp.
Nice.
Right? That's one of the bonuses of doing stuff in vector. You don't have to blow up scans of inked pages, you know. So I'm probably going to do that, and I'm really looking forward to it. So,
yeah, shows are just so much fun to do and be at. Like last show I went to was back in 2019. I covered the Rhode Island Comic Con, which actually outsells the Boston show.
Really? Okay.
Before Boston Comic Con went away because they were afraid San Diego was going to sue them, and they sold out to the Fan Fest people, which is all about to hell with the comics and let's bring a gazillion celebrities in and rake in the money.
Right, I see. That sucks.
But in 2019, I didn't have I had a manual wheelchair opposed to the motorized one.
Okay.
So it was a little rough because it was like a 90-degree hill I had to go up because it was in two different buildings. There's something called the Civic Center, which is now the Dunkin' Donuts Center, because anytime we can, get a company to pay us millions of dollars for X amount of years to put their name on it, fine. But it has like all kinds. It's like an event center. So, wrestling will come through there, concerts, local college sporting things like the Final Four and stuff. But that building is attached to the convention center, which is up a big steep hill, and they wouldn't let me get up there any other way. But there were a bunch of vendors and creators down on that level. And then you went up the hill, and once you cleared the landing, off to the left was the where all the comic guys were. The vendors.
How'd you get up there then?
I had somebody push me.
Well, that's nice to have somebody there, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like they could skip they get to skip going to the gym for about a month because right. At the time I was weighing like about 5.25.
Oh, really?
And now I weigh like under 4. I started at around 600, so I'm doing pretty good.
How'd you lose weight, by the way?
I, for the most part, stopped eating anything that tasted good.
Okay.
Quit coughing out there.
So, it's always good because as we get older, I'm gaining weight too. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, fucking shit. Right? I'm like, this sucks, man. I don't want to. And I'm like, how? And everything I eat, I gain weight. Anything good, I gain weight. So I'm like, it's just a bummer. And you want to just find out ways that other people do it.
Because everything that pretty much tastes good is loaded with carbs. Carbs are bad. But to eat healthy, like truly healthy, it costs you 10 times as much. We buy carbs because carbs are cheap. The dollar menu, or which is in this current day of, Sleepy Joe, the $5 menu, I guess. But, all the sugary stuff, that we like to have a slice of pie after, dinner on Saturday night. And it's like, you still do it, but you gotta work like twice as hard to get rid of it. So,
well, a while back, I lost about 25 pounds. And the way I did it was I stopped eating anything with sugar in it, refined sugar. So all soft drinks, I just drink water.
Yeah.
Right. And so even things like that had sugar in them, like ketchup, right? And man, the weight just dripped off of me. But I'm like, this sucks. Right? I mean, there's got to be a middle ground somewhere because
I was eating nothing but salads with, sliced chicken on top, or like tuna fish, or without any meat on it whatsoever. But you get protein from things like mushrooms and black beans and stuff.
If you weighed 200 pounds, would you be able to not use a wheelchair?
I'd still have to be able to work on it because I was like, stuck there for so long, and I've had so many surgeries. I've got like foot drop on both legs, and
Okay.
a lot of leg surgeries I've had. So, it'd be a lot of work. But I can walk with a walker, but I don't want to walk with a walker because then I look like the little old man from Up.
I see. Okay, I gotcha. I mean, but you do burn calories when you're doing that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
I work with a physical therapist a couple of times a week.
Oh, cool.
And they just got me like a bike for crippled people or people in wheelchairs, where it's got the base piece. It's a good size piece, but it's just the floor piece, and it has kind of like the elliptical size pedals on it. And every time I use it, I before I get worn out, I usually get in about 2,000 steps.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a lot. I mean, it's it's really healthy for your system to be doing that kind of exercise. Obviously, you know that, but it's like clearly, it's easier to not eat a Big Mac than it is to burn one off.
Yeah,
right. It's so hard to burn 700 calories instead of just eating an apple, right? Which there's something in that food though, the stuff like Big Mac that's
all the chemicals, yeah,
all the chemicals and shit. Even like I noticed like diet soda has stuff in there that slows my metabolism down.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's that fake sugar or whatever. I didn't even know. But I'm like, this is not like just. It's not just about the calories. It's about your metabolism, and that really for a long time I was drinking like I don't drink caffeine at all anymore either, right? Which is a bummer. I'm going to tell you right now, it's a bummer because I like caffeine. But
well, I will drink an extra cup for you today.
Please do. I had really bad acid reflux, so I had.
Oh yeah.
And so that's just it's not going to fly. I can't do it. Right, instant burn, and it only gets worse. So so I just drink water, maybe with lemon or something in it, and everyone's got their things though, right? With like problems to figure out with what's going on with our lives and everything. But it's not one thing, it's another. They just catch up. And as I get older, when I was a kid, I was like, I graduated high school, I was like 130. Now I got up to 185, and right now I'm 165. Right, so I kind of came down and balanced out. But dude, I want to be super lean, and it's so impossible. I'd have to like do the salad chicken every day thing you're talking about, right? That's just hard to do. I'm not gonna.
Well, after the first year, it just becomes, habit. Because I'm a type 2 diabetic too.
Right.
Of course I am. I was almost 600 pounds. Of course I got diabetes. Lettuce kind of like helps metabolize your carbs. To process them. So, the lettuce is good. The tomato tastes good.
Sure.
The cucumber, you get protein from black beans, you get protein from mushrooms. And it's easy enough to put, some tuna on top of it if you like tuna or chicken or steak, whatever you like. Of course, try to be able to afford to buy a steak nowadays, but
right.
That's another show entirely.
Well, I know that we're supposed to be talking about CG and comics and ShadowPunk, but you can't help but talk about stuff like this because it affects our everyday life.
Yeah.
It is what it is, right? It's like if you have 5 back problems, I can't work on the book. right?
Mhm.
Or whatever. If I'm getting sick, I'm not working out. It's like it all goes down real fast. So,
Everything's connected.
everything's connected. Even like brain function, right? When you're
Mhm.
reading, like I eat a lot of like salmon.
Oh, I love
Um,
salmon.
oh my gosh, I'm sure you guys got the best in Massachusetts.
Not
I mean,
really.
you got
Maine does.
oh, you think so? Okay. I mean, you have the ocean there. I mean, that is a
Yeah.
big deal.
Well, we get some, but I have to limit my salmon to like once a month because my girlfriend hates salmon. She hates the taste of it. She hates the smell of it. But she loves me so much. Once in a while, she'll even cook it.
I'll tell you, some people are like that. They just it doesn't click with
Yeah,
them.
she said she doesn't like it because it's too fishy. When we first met, I asked her if she liked fish. She goes, "Yeah, but I don't like fishy fish." I'm like, "The hell does that mean?" She's like, "White fish that doesn't smell like fish." I'm like, "That would be a fillet of fish from McDonald's." Because it's not real fish. It's just white stuff in the middle, surrounded by batter.
Well,
So,
I'll tell you this. So I buy my salmon at Kroger here in Michigan, and it never smells like fish. When you open the package, you don't smell fish. So it does matter where you buy it from.
yeah.
And I know that like if you buy like Omaha Steaks, they have like insane, awesome salmon. You're like, dude, this is just ridiculous. You eating it and you're going, this is like Captain America probably ate this to get the super soldier serum. It's that good,
Yeah.
right? It's lean.
There's a subscription box called Moink. Moink.
Okay.
And it's all farm, USA farm fresh stuff. I hear from many people that their bacon is the best bacon they've ever eaten in their lives.
Really?
Their salmon is Alaskan fresh caught salmon. They fillet it, they freeze it, and they send it to you the same day.
Wow. Well, the trick is it depends how much money you have.
Yeah.
So if you're like me, you got to find a balance between money and then good quality. I think I can tell the difference between the best stuff and the medium stuff that I buy. But it's all good. Anyway, we can talk about salmon for the rest of our lives, I suppose.
Yeah, because welcome to the Salmon Lovers Show.
Right, sorry guys. Your audience is like, what the fuck?
So back to this. ShadowPunk. One Girl Against the City of Evil. 52-page adventure in a cyberpunk version of Detroit in the future. New Evil Rises. A 3 3/4 inch exclusive figure. Fully painted if you choose. With a t-shirt and the book for only $80. Everything ships worldwide. Here we go. This is the Bancroft variant. I like to call the digital versions the Australian variants because it's like $1 million to ship a box of books to Australia.
It totally is. And the reason I didn't want to do the PDF is because it's the first thing right below my featured perk. They wouldn't let me change that. It orders them from lowest to most expensive. So I was like, but you know what, though? There are a lot of people that can't afford the comic books in general, or there's a lot of people who do live overseas. Right now it's crazy. And I think, I had to do it. It was worth it to me to actually let people.
It's a good idea because even though they always claim that, digital comics are the wave of the future. No, it's not.
Because you can't collect them.
Yeah, you can't collect them, and you can't sell them, because how do you sell a digital code? You have to sell your account and then start a new one. And then all the money you spent is gone. But there's some people that, they might not have the room to store, a bunch of books, or, the only thing they might be able to read a book on is, their tablet, or they enjoy reading on the tablet because they travel a lot. It's a good option for people.
Yeah, totally. But there's truth in the fact that people enjoy the thing they hold, and that it has more value, that because you now have a commodity in your hand that is physical, as opposed to something digital,
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to have it in there. Yeah, for sure. So
well, Stan Lee said it best when he said, comic books are like boobs. I enjoy watching them on the screen, but I'd rather hold them in my hand.
Gotta love that.
Oh yeah, and you've got a 20% off on the book right now. You can buy, if you just want the comic, you can buy the comic. $20, ships worldwide. 65 people have bought that. Somebody has bought just the shirt.
Yeah, isn't that something? I forget who. It might have been like hold on. So this is a different shirt. This is the one has a logo, and then the other one has the artwork of the girl coming at you.
Mm-hmm. So there's two different shirts.
Yeah, and I don't know why I made the second one. I just thought it was cool, and I wanted options in my campaign.
And 5 other people thought it was cool too, because they bought that one straight out.
It really Neff and Freak Girl hooked me up with a printer that was inexpensive, so I could sell it for $25.
Nice.
The people who ordered the small ones, I made only 1 or 2 people ordered like a small one, so I made the most off those. And the people who ordered like double or triple extra large, I made very little money off those at all. Right?
Yeah, that's my problem, because my T-shirts are a 6X. So.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even know if they make 6X. It's a tricky thing, I mean, for somebody that wanted a larger version than double X, I would probably find another printer to do it.
Neff and Freak Girl sent me one of the Maverick shirts.
Oh, cool.
And they got one, it was like a one-off print that they did. It looks like all the other shirts, just bigger. But it was like, I think it was like a 4X was the biggest size they could find to get it printed on. And I squeezed into it, but like they say, spandex is a privilege, not a right.
Okay, I see.
Like I can put it on here and just, I can sit in a certain pose for the whole show, and the shirt would look good.
So you're a 5X?
Yeah, I'm a 5X. So sometimes I'll buy like a 6X, because I don't know where the shirt was made, and there's a good chance that it's going to shrink down. So
okay, they do for sure. Yeah, I'm no expert on that process, because but the other thing too is, so I noticed some people like tighter shirts and some people like looser shirts. I like looser shirts. I don't like shirts that are tight. My buddy he likes all the shirts tight. Right. Yeah. And I'm like, so you never know what people want, and you don't know which size is a good fit for them.
Yeah.
So.
Usually in shape people like the tight shirts, and all of us normal people that have lived our lives like the loose shirts.
Right. Yeah, totally. I'm in shape. I work out and everything, but I still like it loose because I don't like feeling constricted.
Yeah.
Right. And so
I like to have room to move.
Totally. I mean, it's such a cool thing. I mean, it's comfortable. Why be uncomfortable, right? What's the point?
yeah, it's, it's just the way, it's just the way I am. Like, I don't, you know, okay, at one point I was like, oh man, I need to get back to the gym. I need to start working out. And then I got an ad in from the local fat guy store, and it's showing sizes up to 8X. And I'm like, well, I guess I still can eat tacos.
Right. That's the worst thing you could have heard, right?
Hey, speak of the devil.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Boom.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think I should look for somebody that does larger shirts to find, to see if there's options out there for people. Because you're not the only person that's going to want a bigger one.
I have appeared. He has tickled the algorithm, and now he will leave to eat.
Right. He's going to have his tacos.
Well, he co-hosted on Allie's show, and then he did his own show, which just probably wrapped up a few minutes ago.
That's cool.
And now see what I tell you. Bye.
You know what's cool about what I like about their show? I love the fact that he's like, they have two hosts, and she's the operator. Mm-hmm. And then he's the guy that's maybe interacting the most with the person they're interviewing or talking to. It's a cool dynamic.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I noticed. I went on so many shows, right? It's really interesting how everybody's different, right? I mean, you have so much knowledge about how CG works, and then you go to other shows and they don't really talk about that stuff. They'll talk about the process of making the artwork.
Yeah.
Right.
I probably spent like thousands of hours like in streams before I met my girlfriend. And now I spent only the hours when she's at work. Right. And Freak Girl teased me with fried chicken. Can you believe that? I was on the stream and she brought me fried chicken. What am I, B-Rose? Oh, yes. That's some chicken weavery going on there now. Man, I haven't had fried chicken in forever.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, we can get back on food and we'll never end. I'm always looking for healthier ways to eat. I gotta have something to nibble on throughout the day, otherwise I'll go insane. Right? I'll start chewing on my own arm if I have to.
Yeah.
Well,
the thing I'll say about this shirt, which would be an option for me, and I know God bless you. And I know I spoke on this when we talked earlier in the year, was the fact that the logo in its circular form right here on this shirt would make a perfect patch.
Oh, you mean like a patch you could put on stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I like the idea a lot. I think it's cool. So a patch would be something like you're in the club.
Yeah.
Right? And it's almost like one of those things where different than a sticker or a magnet, right? You can put it on your jacket or whatever. Totally. I mean, if my campaign had made like 20 grand, I would have went through my stretch goals. Mm-hmm. And I had some stretch goals planned out, but they were, they're just expensive to make. So I have to be able to, make enough money to justify it, right? But the other idea I had for it, though, is that for this one especially, is that there is a button on the logo. If you hit the button, then her jetpack comes on your back and you can fly.
Oh, I like that one.
Right? I'm in the process of making those work. So expect that. I'll give you one of those. You can float around that giant room you got back there. Right? Cool. I mean, it'd be cool, it's just so the backpack on my character is a big part of her thing. That's where the flying technology is. So let's hypothetically say one day I hit the big time with my project. You could put the backpack with the logo on it and sell those to kids and whatnot, right?
And to, you know, the rest of us nerds as well.
Totally.
Now we get the true story. Frequency Girls. To be fair, I gave him chicken to eat quickly between streams.
Very nice. Taking care of her, man. That's
you know, there was no starving to death going on over there.
right.
You know, that'd be like me. Oh, I'm dying of starvation because the food came after we started the stream. No.
So
I could live off my body fat for probably like 10 years.
What are you drinking?
Seltzer water.
Oh man, I love that stuff. I had to stop drinking
tonic water. Pardon me.
I think it has stuff in it that made me want to eat other food, like nibble on crap, and then I gained weight. Joe, and I love it. I love the Perrier. Right, I could drink Perrier all day.
Oh yeah, there's something in tonic water, quinine, that my girlfriend who works in the medical field tells me is good to help fight off the COVIDs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it does actually. The quinine, yeah, totally does. I heard that too. That's right.
You too. I'll talk to you guys soon. So, in closing here, because now I'm looking forward to eating. Damn them.
Right.
The link for the campaign is not only in the chat, it's also in the show notes, either up above or down below, depending on whether you're watching us on YouTube or not Twitter, but the fake book.
Fake book, right?
And the Twitter cast, which you can find on my profile, of course. I always go in and because it used to, when it was before they gave everything back over to Twitter, there was another company that you were streaming through to be on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
And anything that you typed in the chat would come up. So if you just dropped the link to a campaign in there, it would come up on the Twitter feed as well. It doesn't do that anymore. You have to go in and make the comment yourself. So I just, copy, paste.
I got you.
And, I'm done. But, this show goes from YouTube. It goes to my podcast page on Facebook and also straight to Twitter. And after this is over, it'll go right to my actual podcast platform where you can listen to it. You can listen to it on the whatever system you like to use to get your free podcasts, or you can download it and listen to it at a later time. You can also find ShadowPunk's Twitter handle and link right in the show notes as well. And those show notes will also appear on the podcast platform. I use Spotify myself, so it appears over there. And as soon as it goes live, I will send it out and tag you in there. Remember, there's only 5 days left to get in on ShadowPunk's book called ShadowPunk. And to get the figure 3 3/4 inches, just like the original Kenner Star Wars line and Hasbro G.I. Joe figures. 2 different t-shirts. The comic itself, the PDF if you're in Australia, or you can get the full Blitz combo, which will get you the logo t-shirt, the action figure, painted or unpainted, your choice, and the book.
Cool.
And I want to thank ShadowPunk for coming and hanging out and Neff and Freak Girl for coming in and pushing around the algorithm a little bit, and we'll get this up to a podcast platform after I have some dinner.
Well, thanks for letting me come on again. It's cool that you were there in the beginning and you're there when I'm finishing my campaign. So it's been a full circle kind of thing. So
yeah, it's always cool. It's always cool to talk to you, man. You're a fun guest, and we talk about a little bit of everything. So, if you're just coming in now, go back and rewatch the whole thing, and you'll learn about food and our fatness and why I can't buy T-shirts off campaigns.
Okay. Right.
And if you're looking at me, it should be obvious why I can't buy a T-shirt off a campaign.
Well, it's hard to tell, actually. Yeah, but I only see from you like up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So you can't tell. You just look like a bodybuilder.
I'd stand up, but I got no pants on.
Right.
I always wear shorts.
Thank you.
I always wear shorts. You're welcome. But I'm bump.
Go.
So thank you very much. Thank everybody that took the time to watch this and share it out. And we'll be back next Wednesday. My special guest is John from Beyond.
Cool.
And we'll catch everybody later on. Please share this out and back the ShadowPunk book. Back the ShadowPunk book today. Take 2. Back the ShadowPunk book today.